The Harley-Davidson Sportster S represents the brand's new era of Sportster and a modernized take on the motorcycle that has had one of the longest-running legacies since its birth in 1957. Small, nimble, and fast, this motorcycle breathes high performance and aggression into the next generation of this popular line of bikes. Definitely favoring high-tech features, emphasis on power, and weighing in lighter than its predecessors, this bike was built to go. So let's look at 10 things you should know about the Harley-Davidson Sportster S. Retiring the air-cooled V-twin engines of the Iron 883, Iron 1200, and 48, Harley-Davidson has taken its 1,250 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled Revolution engine, which made its debut in Pan America in 2021. And in case you have yet to have the pleasure of riding Harley's ADV bike, it packs a punch. With 121 horsepower and 94 pound-feet of torque, even the most experienced sports bike riders would be left speechless with how fast this thing can go. While its predecessors were very popular among beginner riders, the Sportster S is something other than something a newbie should consider. Given the amount of power packed into a small bike, this would be much more fitting for intermediate and experienced riders. A new engine means a couple of things: new emission standards and new sound. Channeled into its 2-into-1-into-2 exhaust, the 1,250 cubic centimeters Revolution engine emits a raspier, ravier note. A bit of a departure from the deep, grumbling rumble of its predecessors. But if you are still a fan of that deep, guttural sound many Harleys are known for, some upgrades can deliver you the goods. When you think of a high-performance sports bike, models like the Kawasaki Ninja, the Honda CBR, and the KTM Duke are just a few that come to mind. But if you look at them a little longer, you'll notice that they all follow the same design: a high seat and mid-controls under the rider's hips. If you look at what Harley-Davidson did with the Sportster S, you will see that it did none of those things. We are looking at a low seat, forward controls, and a forward riding stance. Much like Pan America, the Sportster S aims its high-performing competitors to prove that it is just as fast and impressive as the rest of the crowd without having to conform to the typical sports bike aesthetic. It can easily leave them literally and metaphorically in its dust while still remaining true to Harley's style. If anything, some sports bike riders now have an excuse to convert over to the dark side while still getting their fill of speed and performance. Normally, Harley-Davidson saves all of its cool gadgets for the touring class, like cruise control, music, GPS, and so on. But if you take a close look, you will notice that it shares a lot of the same high-tech features as the Pan America, but in a more compact package. Equipped with a 4-inch circular display, the Sportster S comes with Bluetooth capability that will allow the rider to connect with a headset or Bluetooth helmet, as well as their mobile device to utilize its turn-by-turn GPS navigation, media controls, and even voice commands. Similar to the Pan America, the Sportster S also comes equipped with 5 different ride modes: Sport, Road, Rain, and 2 Custom, allowing the rider to change the bike's performance settings based on their preferences. Couple these options with the motorcycle's built-in Cornering Enhanced Anti-Lock Braking System and Corning Enhanced Traction Control System, and you can go from cruising along to tearing it up on a moment's notice. By mixing modern technological advancements with retro styling, Harley-Davidson successfully delivered a motorcycle that is able to carry on the name of Sportster while still standing out on its own. Of course, there are always a few insatiable outliers that claim that Harley ruined it. But it's not like they were ever going to buy one, let alone ride one. This is a motorcycle for a new generation of riders that will carry the Sportster's name into the future, with lots of toys and plenty of power to back it up. As mentioned earlier, the Sportster S weighs in at only 502 pounds while fully fueled. By comparison, that is 50 pounds less than that of an Iron 883. Being lighter only plays more into the bike's agility for more city-focused riding. Not to mention its 43mm inverted forks and singular monoshock in the rear, under the seat. As an added bonus, the shock is fully adjustable to the point where a second passenger can ride on the back. Although, there are other motorcycles where that would make much more sense. A closer look at its Dunlop tires also hints at the bike's desire for twists and turns rather than a flat straightaway. While most motorcycle tires tend to have a standard round shape, the Sportster S tires borrow the 48 fatness and have a slight point down the middle. This allows riders to lean into those turns more naturally, allowing you to eat up figure eights for breakfast. Generally speaking, naked bikes are not designed with comfort being a priority. If you're riding a Kawasaki Ninja, you want to feel like you're riding a bullet, not a couch. And, while the same can be said for the Sportster S, it does bring some level of comfort into the equation. Its design alone puts its riders in a more comfortable riding position thanks to its low seat and forward controls. Many riders express that they feel more in the bike rather than on it. And for a bike that favors high performance, that is high praise. Of course, if forward controls aren't your thing, the good news is that the Sportster S has a mid-control conversion kit available. Another change that would set the Sportster S apart from previous bikes is that it is not built around a typical frame. Rather than the bike being built into the frame, the front, middle, and rear frame sections are instead bolted around the 1,250 cubic centimeters Revolution engine. This plays into the bike's lighter weight and promotes more stability while you're weaving in and out of turns. In a way similar to how Harley-Davidson was able to disrupt the ADV market with the Pan America, the Sportster S proved itself to be a major contender among other lightweight, high-performance motorcycles. With power, agility, and style, Harley's new Sportster stands out on its own as one of the hottest new bikes on the market that can satisfy adrenaline junkies everywhere that have been hungry for something different and new. Sure enough, more and more Japanese and European bikes arrived at local dealerships to be traded in for the new bike on the block after only being part of HD's inventory for a year.